Good evening. It's Michaela, and I thought I'd just make this video because this is the last day before the election, and I wanted to do a little walk down memory lane. Now, we all know what happened. Gore, Bush, we were there, but and Clinton, one of my first presidents to vote for, and I've also voted for the Green Party, Ralph Nader. So I'm telling you the truth. Ralph Nader probably was one of my first votes. Then probably Clinton, whatever. Anyway, now 2008, when Obama, shout out to all my Dems abroad. We were doing that, knocking doors, hanging out at Azabu Juban. And then, of course, we voted for, well, then it was 2020. I'm skipping some ahead, but 2020, Bernie. He didn't make it to the final round, but I was a Bernie supporter. But when he didn't make it, I did vote for Clinton. Didn't happen. Then we had these tumultuous years of torture, misery. And then we had to vote for Biden. Now, I even posted, a lot of us, Biden wasn't our first choice, but actually, I don't know about you, but I bet you know somebody who had their student loans erased. If you pay consistently for over 10 years, you should have had your student loan. What? Forget. That's not what I'm talking about. Anyway, after that, we dealt with Biden. I was devastated when they were talking about what's going on with Biden versus Kamala, because I was like, are they trying to mess everything up? But I realized this race is so close. When George Clooney wrote that article in the New York Times, we needed to get rid of Biden because now the party is energized. Kamala was able to answer, to raise so much money, get so many people activated and interested and engaged in the campaign in a way that before it was just like, oh boy, let's go try and get something done. Now there's energy. I have canvassed in Central Phoenix, South Phoenix. I've made phone calls, and this is my last plea to you, those of you at home who are on my Facebook page and who can scroll through if you don't want to hear the rest. So I have my Arizona button, Harris Waltz. You can see it behind me. And I'm so excited to be able to cast this. And I want to share a couple of stories from when I was door knocking. I talked to a 25-year-old who didn't know what he was going to do. And he was trying to figure out who should he vote for. Now, I don't know if I changed his mind, but I know I made sure. He said he wanted to buy a house. I explained Kamala has a program, a $25,000 grant for homeowners who want to buy a home. He didn't know that because he's listening to alternative news. So telling people what is out there was helpful. If he decides to vote, I don't know. But at least I gave him that information. But the things that were really exciting for me, I talked to an Indian woman who's an epidemiologist. And she told me about all of the things in science that she's concerned about and why she wanted to vote for Kamala Harris. I also spoke to a woman who was 92 years old, a 92-year-old Black woman. I'm knocking on doors, and it didn't show that she had registered or she had mailed her ballot in. And she said, don't worry, baby, me and my daughter, we are going to vote. And then she started talking about voting for Obama and what this moment means to her. Imagine, 92. This woman has been through everything. And she has been blessed to be able to watch this moment where Kamala Harris is going to be our next president. After that, I also spoke to, I talked to a lot of people. But I just thought that was such a great and powerful story that at 92, all of the things in segregation, all of the oppression, and here she is today to be able to sit on her porch and say, I voted for Kamala Harris. Then I even talked to a gentleman, and this is my last day. So sometimes when you're knocking on doors, people slam the door in front of your face, or they'll say, I don't talk politics, or one guy told me, enough, we know. And I get it, because we're all getting the texts. We're all seeing the ads online. We're watching the commercials. In Arizona, they have a billboard that says, sex traffickers for Harris. Can you believe that? Like, that's ridiculous. But that's the kind of stuff they have going on out here. So after all of that, today, I'm knocking on the door. Hello, hello. And there's a gentleman. He had to be like maybe in his 60s or maybe even 70s. You know, he was a Hispanic gentleman. And he said to me, we have all the papers. We are voting for Kamala. And then he looked at me and he gave me a fist bump. He said, we got this. So just to know that if the president is not representing one group of people, the president represents all of us. And all of these people had to come and say, hey, we need to get behind this woman or mass deportations. Another young lady just died from having to carry a child because she needed to have a reproductive. I'm sorry, she had to have an abortion, but she couldn't, so she died at 18. These are real issues. And sometimes when I have to knock on the door to somebody, I have to explain these things to them. What does it mean to be a woman and know that, what if I got raped? What if something happened to me and I was with my husband and we're expecting to have a child and I can't have that child? Not because I don't want the baby, but because the baby is going to kill me. I have several friends who've had miscarriages. It is not a joyous occasion. It's painful to watch their grief. So knowing that these things affect women, it's something that drives me and it pushes me forward. So my plea, and the reason why I'm making this last post is because I can't knock on doors tomorrow. I got to go to work. But I wanted to say to anybody who's sitting on the fence, who has a ballot, or you don't have a ballot, get up tomorrow, mail that not mail it, go to the drop box, put it in your drop box, or go to the voting facility and give them the ballot. Some places, all you have to do, if it's mailed in, fill it out at home and just drop it. But if you have to go and fill it out, go fill it out. So I met this 92-year-old woman, a senior citizen Hispanic man who didn't speak a lot of English, but he just said, we got this. That was so uplifting. And then the last house I had for the night, I didn't even knock on the door because it was kind of in shambles. But either way, the gentleman was standing outside and I was looking for someone else. And a lot of times when you knock, they give you the name to ask for. And I don't like to step on people's toes, so I don't start talking to everybody that answers the door. But I said, is Lisa here? And he said, no, she doesn't actually live here. I said, oh, okay. So we just kept talking and chit-chatting. And I guess he wanted me to tell him why I was there. But I don't like to do that because his name is not on the list. So then he said, we're voting for Kamala. He had to be like a 60-year-old white male. He told me how he had he's taking care of his grandkids. His grandkids. He's also dealing with people in his family who are addicted to drugs. And he was telling me all of this stuff. But he said, I know that this is it. We got to get this man out of office. So there are people all over this country who are rooting for change. Change. You might not like everything that Kamala's going to do. I know I'm not. I didn't like everything any president has always done. But one thing what we can't do is deal with someone who is basically threatening harm on others, bragging about ruining women's health, talking about mass deportations. What is that? You already stripped children from their parents and they still haven't found those kids and the parents. We can't go through that again. He had a Muslim ban. He had all of these bans against others. And at this time, if you have not mailed your ballot, please, if you have not gone to your facility, please consider going and voting down ballot. The reason why I say that is because if you don't vote down ballot, no matter what Kamala wants to do, she's going to be stopped by the Senate and the House. And we already know you got the Lauren Boeberts and the Marjorie Taylor Greens and all the other people in that group who are trying to thwart American democracy. They don't want to vote for anything that's going to help, but then they want to take the credit. They don't vote for the Build Back Better, but they take the credit. All of these things are benefiting their constituents, and they're filled with so much hate that they don't want to vote for it because they want to make it look like, oh, look at the Dems spending all this money. But your people are benefiting. So something to think about. This is my last. I can't knock on any more doors tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out with some friends. We're going to try and celebrate, watch the tally. I'll probably be up all night. I probably won't even sleep because I'm going to be looking, what they say, what they say. But this is my last plea to you. Thank you for tolerating my pictures and my videos, but this is actually a direct call to anybody who has not decided to vote. Thank you. Peace. See you on the other side. We got this. Si se puede. Take care. Bye.